Hi all, welcome to 100 Ideas to 1 Million. The challenge is, and apologies for the microphone, I just bought it from Argos and I can't hear myself. So instead of using it as a tripod, I'm plugging it to my mouth. Hello, can you hear me? Because I couldn't hear myself. Anyways, the challenge, this YouTube channel is a challenge of starting 100 ideas and making £1 million, $1 million from one of them. It's insane. It's insane how AI is at the moment. The fact that you can make a website that took you years, decades, months and months, and you can do it now in minutes, hours. It's mind-boggling. And I feel like anyone at the moment can make 100 ideas, 100 websites, 100 startups, 100 companies, whatever you want to call it, in the space of minutes. And one of those, the odds are so in our favor at the moment that one of those will take off out of the 100. You need a 1% chance. Now, we're not making Amazon, Google, Facebook as it stands, but we're making the first iteration of Amazon, Facebook. You know, when they launched these websites, when Elon Musk launched helped launch PayPal or Zip2 or whatever websites he was working on, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. It didn't look like the Facebook, the Amazon, the PayPal that we know today. It was a very, very poor, basic version of what we know today, because that's their MVP. That's their minimum viable product. And that's what we will be doing. We'll be launching 100 MVPs and seeing which one of those gets traction, or which one gets traction the most, and then pushing that. And I have no doubt that after this challenge, one of these 100 ideas that I've undertaken will get traction, and we can use that to then scale. And I have no doubt that the ones that you also do will experience the same. So I'm hoping that you all join me on this. The costs are not negligible, but they're not major. So 100 websites, we're going to need to register a domain. That we're looking at something like $1,000, $2,000 on that part, on the domain front. But you can use free URLs. Replit. We're going to be using Replit, Lovable. We can get free URLs, and we don't need to register a domain. But ideally, you would. So using a service provider like Namecheap, we're looking at $10 to $20 per domain. And then we need the tools, the AI tools. So we're going to be using Lovable. Again, that we could be looking at something like $200 a month. And this challenge would take us about 5 months. So you're looking at somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000 to join this challenge. If you don't want to buy the domains, you're looking at something like $1,000 for the 5 months, because we can do one startup, one website, one idea a day in probably under 10 minutes, under 1 hour, definitely maximum. My name is Aries. Sorry, I haven't introduced myself. And I've been working in the marketing space, search engine optimization, online marketing via search engines. I've been doing that for 20 years now. I've worked predominantly with startups that are VC backed, with venture capital. In total, I've worked with clients that have raised over, £500 million, something like $700, $800 million. So I feel like I know more or less what works, what doesn't, based on the kind of clientele that I've had and still have. So I feel like that is a good kind of measure of what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking, what ideas to pursue. Also lectured at universities on SEO. I've had my own course with over 2,500 students. So I feel like, you can probably tell by the gray hairs, I'm kind of ancient in terms of the online world and the online space, but hopefully that's an advantage on my end. So, first project, Deposi. I registered this domain name in like 5 minutes, so don't hold it against me. But this is a dream, or this is an idea I've had for a while now, helping people with difficulties in buying a house, right? Mainly because of their deposit. So how can people raise a deposit in days, hours, versus months and years, right? Well, how can they get there quicker? So I thought of something like almost a Kickstarter meets Fiverr, where people can, social media influencers, or someone with online services knowledge can kind of put out a service and raise money through packages and hit their kind of crowdfunding goal, right? So let's say I want to buy a house, £200,000, $200,000. I need a 10% deposit, 20,000. I come here, I register, I put my goal as 20 grand, and I say, look, I'll do SEO packages, I'll do an SEO audit, 500 quid, or I'll do, 3 months in one at 5 grand, let's say. All I need to sell now is, 4 of these packages, of these higher price packages, to reach my goal of 20 grand. And now I have my deposit for my house. Or, if it's the kind of a 30-minute SEO audit, let's say at 200, I would need 100 of those. So in the grand scheme of things, I feel like it's a much easier way to kind of for millennials or Gen Z or whatever you want to call it because life as is, it's quite insane in terms of everyone should have their own house. I'm lucky to already have one. Otherwise, I would have registered already and kind of started promoting my own, kind of pushing my own package. Yeah. As you can see, I use ChatGPT for some of these ideas. So, I asked it, I want to start a Fiverr meets Kickstarter, but what I was unsure on the activities. And so basically, looking at the numbers, I kind of came across first using, again, we just want to pick one. And so the social media influencer market, for example, is worth 16.4 billion in 2023. Right, and this could reach 22 billion by 2025. There are over 50 million influencers, right? So I thought this is, it's such a big market that we can kind of take away. Even if we were to capture 1% of that, that's a lot. That's 165 million. So if we could get some of these influencers to kind of join Deposi, because it also ties in very well with the millennial Gen Z. Unfortunately, they're getting, outpriced in terms of the housing market. And I also asked ChatGPT to kind of tell me, how many people in the UK and the US kind of can't afford to buy a home at the moment. And I believe I can't really see where it gave me the information, but I believe it was somewhere around 17 to 35 million people in the UK and in the US that couldn't afford to buy their own house. So the fact that then ties in with the influencer, the social media influencer market, which is around $16 billion, we can kind of capture both of those markets, if that makes sense. And then third of all, we can always expand into other kind of online services, SEO, marketing in general, paid email marketing, and then other services like logo design, so designer development. But just to start off as a kind of MVP, it will be focused around people who need or want or looking to kind of buy a house, don't have a deposit, and you kind of are able to, are on social media and want to kind of, so, you know, I could sign up, start a project, you know. So for example, I would after logging in, I would raise a deposit and I would say, looking to buy moldy flat in London, description, and then just kind of copy and paste your bio. Yeah, I've been worked 20 years in, I was going to say SEO industry, but let's say YouTube influencer market. Target amount, I want to raise 20,000. Premium package price, like we said already, 5,000. I will, you know, do, you know, kind of 3 months of SEO in one, or, you know, 3 months of SEO by doing a technical audit, you know, EAT audit, a content plan, and a backlink plan, and outreach and whatnot, right? And then basic package price 200. So in this case 5,000. I'll do, you know, I'll put you as a sponsor in my videos for the whole year. Basic package price, I will sponsor, you know, you can sponsor one of my videos. And then I was having trouble with allowing upload functionality because Replit going back and forth for over 2 weeks with this one, so I just simplified it to have a video URL. So you could upload, you know, if you have a video on YouTube already, or which most of these, you know, most of social media influencers would have already, just copy and paste a URL of their YouTube video, so yes, this is idea number one. Again, kind of how we did it. The main why it took 2 weeks was because of the integration with Stripe, getting the webhook functionality right, and that was kind of a major problem, and that put me off with Replit. And then again, the video upload functionality. So I just simplified that with a kind of so we won't be making these mistakes. It will be 10 minutes, an hour max. For each idea, not 2 weeks. And even 2 weeks is super fast, but still. And then I also added the affiliates functionality. So anyone can sign up to be an affiliate and get, you know, a percentage of all fees raised through the platform. And then blog. So anyone can kind of come in, well, anyone, only with one email that I own, you can kind of create a blog posts, and then about us, contact us, FAQ, etc. And then these calculators, and I'll show you how easy it is to make one of these calculators. So why I made them in the first place. I looked at some of the websites in the space. For example, Money Help, I didn't know it was owned, you know, it was a gov.uk website. But for example, 11, almost 12% of their traffic is going to a mortgage calculator. So I kind of replicated that in, you know, 2 minutes with Replit. It was really fast, really good to do that. And then mortgage affordability calculator, I saw, you know, so 160,000 going to their mortgage calculator every month, 160,000 people just in the UK, and then about 50,000 going to their mortgage. So I made these two straight away. And for example, here's another one, stamp duty calculator, that we could make right now. So include stamp duty calculator. in footer, and then this is how it goes, right? So I just want to have a look at how their stamp duty calculator is working. So let's try it out. I am buying property price, and then it will tell you how much. So I am buying my first home, my next home, my additional property or second home, and then what's the price, right? So because the stamp duty changes, so include a stamp duty calculator in footer, and then you can even go, you know, I am buying something like that, and then the property price. So we'll include a jar, and make a calculator like this on a new page. So it made the page in a couple of seconds, maybe a minute, and it's all perfect. I just tested it. You know, for my first home, no stamp duty. My next home, 7,500, which was the exact same as the other calculators. But for my additional property or second home, it's not calculating it correctly. It's using a lower value. So I just found something online. So I'm just telling Replit, for additional properties, the formula is wrong. Okay, let's try it out. 400,000. No, didn't do it. In your formula for additional property or second home, it's not right. For example, 400k, use this. Shouldn't be 19,500, but 27,500. In your formula, use 5% instead of 3% or whatever you're using. To build a whole page, you know, that actually calculates this, you know, to do this from scratch might take you, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, whereas with Replit, you know, or Lovable, you can do it in literally a minute. It's unbelievable. Let's try it. $1,750. Let's try it, yeah. Oh, is it? Yes, nice. Okay, fantastic. It worked. 57,500. So I was saying 50. 57,500. Boom, all correct. Nice, fantastic. Okay, so I just added the stamp duty calculator in the footer. Beautiful. Now we just have to click redeploy, and in a few minutes it shall be live on deposit.com. The main thing I would say about playing around with this is it's just a lot of testing. You're going to speak to the AI. If you're using Replit, Lovable, I prefer Lovable, but you're going to just be chatting a lot. This doesn't work. You're going to be testing a lot, and then one thing to consider is also at the end is kind of using, checking it for an iPhone and. Because this is where it breaks a lot, looking at it from all angles, from all kind of screens, etc. So not only does it have to work well on a desktop, but mobile, it's very important, especially from Google's perspective, EAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Google manual reviewers need to look at a website on a mobile device. So make sure that, it looks good and it works for a mobile, because I know many huge websites that don't. It should be fully deployed anytime now. And that was it. That's the first idea. I'd already done this one. I've already done another 3. But they're going forward. I'm just going to pick an idea and just run with it. But these were already done. This one took me 2 weeks, but I learned a lot from it. Stripe webhook implementation with Replit. Lovable might be much easier, but that's going to be hard, and it's going to probably take a while. So avoid doing that. And then the second thing is, file upload functionality. You might want to start with an embed